Right Honorable Speaker, the minister has not answered the question, what's the best practices all over the world? The best practice all over the world, that special crops like a coffee is grown through agencies as a vehicle. Ethiopia has it, Brazil has it, Vietnam has it, Kenya has it. What we are doing today, wise people in Ethiopia try to do it. Wise people in Kenya tried to do it. 3 years down the road, they had abandoned and they are going back. Now the law, let me go to the gist of the law. The law seeks to dissolve. The minister here is putting an argument of a transition of 3 years, contingent upon government attaining some other capacities. Now, after killing UCDA today, when 3 years down the road, that capacity is found wanting, will you resurrect it? Will you resurrect it? Having killed it?
Honorable members, from the voting exercise under the division lobby, it must be noted that we had to take the vote through a division lobby because there was a contestation of the results of the voice voting under Rule 101 of the Rules of Procedure. And as the custodian of the rules, I listened to all sides, to everybody. And therefore, I really want to urge you, members, to have faith in the capacity of a presiding officer, other than being impartial. And presiding officers always try their best to be fair. And I want to inform you that the voting record of today is going to be part of the official parliamentary record, and it should be uploaded in the parliamentary information system for future reference. For future reference. If you want to know who voted, who did not vote, you should be able to vote. And we went to vote. We went for voting because we did not believe in the results. I now want to announce the results. The nays had 77. Congratulations. The ayes had 159. So the ayes and abstainees are nil. So the ayes have it, and I adjourn the House and dine.
Rationalization was generated by the executive, that is the president and his cabinet. And the purpose for this rationalization of agencies, government agencies, was as a result of a research that the government conducted where, one, it was discovered that there's a lot of waste of resources. Two, there's duplication of work. Three, there's inefficiency of service delivery Because of these reasons, government decided to identify agencies that do not generate money but consume money. Many of them, like UNRWA, mention them, those agencies in the list of rationalization. So when Cabinet came up with that list, of course, Ministry of Public Service had to compile and bring it to Parliament. And the concern of coffee, Uganda Coffee Development Agency, to be rationalized, should not be handled as an isolated case, because this rationalization was general. It was general. All agencies identified were rationalized. Why should coffee, UCDA, coffee agency, be special? What is that unique that one cannot come? If UNRWA, that has been doing a lot of road works in the country, can be rationalized, if other authorities can be rationalized, what's special with the coffee? So in my view, executive and government is looking at efficiency, is looking at service delivery to the people, is looking at how to save money. From the results of this rationalization, it is realized that we will be able to save over 1 trillion and plus, 1 trillion and plus, which has been wasted. So the question of why are the people of northern Uganda not in support of, or why are they for the rationalization of UCDA? Why I say it doesn't arise is because it was a general thing, and it was not the position of members of parliament from northern Uganda. It was a position of government. Remember, we were for caucus with Mzee in Entebbe. We discussed this into detail, and the government took a position and said, yes, the positives, the advantages of this rationalization are A, B, C, D. And members requested that as these will be sorted, let there be a grace period of this transition. And we agreed in caucus to have 3 years transition period.
First of all, my name is Joanne Aniku Okia. I'm the Woman MP of Madiokolo District. First of all, I want to say coffee has helped so many people in Uganda. Coffee is one of the highest earning, enterprises that fetches a high income in this country. And that's why government has promoted it under the PDM. Now, the success of coffee has various factors. UCDA is definitely one of the factors that has led to the success of coffee, but it is not in isolation. UCDA Ministry of Agriculture has oversight over UCDA. Some of the functions of UCDA are to perform research and extension services. This research is not carried out by UCDA. They employ NARO to do the research. Even the extension services far away are done by this same Ministry of Agriculture. They work together because Ministry of Agriculture has a broad base. They have infrastructure in almost every part of this country. So the success of coffee is not tied to one agency. It's tied to a collective number of factors. For example, government liberalized coffee so that anybody who wants to grow coffee can grow coffee. It's not now government in charge and controlling the coffee production in this nation. Any private person who decides to grow coffee is free to do so. Investors who come to this country are free to grow coffee. And that is one of the reasons there has been success. Another reason is the National Coffee Policy, which was drawn up by still Ministry of Agriculture and this government. UCDA is following the coffee policy, the National Coffee Policy. They're not working in isolation. There's a misconception that people have that if UCDA is dissolved, that now coffee is being dissolved. That is a lie, and that is propaganda. Even in our areas, which UCDA had not yet reached, we are growing coffee. Why? Because of the PDM. PDM has said one of the enterprises we should engage in is coffee. And people have started growing coffee for wealth creation. So this is going to continue. And it's not that it's being dissolved, it's going to disappear. All the functions that it has been performing, which are useful, will still be performed within Ministry of Agriculture.
So coming to Parliament should not be looked at. It is a Northern Uganda thing. But that fact also should not be thrown away, that coffee was not a crop that was given to be, raised in the whole country. The previous governments, not only the NRM government, now the previous governments did not give coffee as an enterprise that can be grown in the whole country. That's why you find in Acholi, Langwa and Karamoja, people were not bothered, people were not, given that opportunity. I think somebody misadvised Ugandans to say this region must handle this crop, this region. That's why you found, especially West Nile was handling tobacco, other regions were handling coffee, others were handling cotton. So when West Nile was given cotton with the tobacco, of course everything has its time limit. Tobacco was phased off. Cotton has not been doing well because of these authorities that are in place. So coffee, which has remained lucrative, was not now a crop that was impressed in northern Uganda for those reasons that I've mentioned. So if the government now has a plan of making coffee promoted in the country and roll it in all the regions, it's a welcome idea.
We have export marketing board. Why do we have export? Is it marketing promotion? What is their job? They're being rendered redundant if they cannot promote the export of all the crops, not just coffee.
I can point out that recently we lost a contract with Zambia because of negligence of one of the people who in the ministry who had to take the control of the milk that we had to take.
Don't talk about that. What about the negligence of UCDA not signing contracts which were supposed to be signed to ensure that Uganda can export directly to the importers in other countries? We now have to go through middlemen because of the negligence that happened through UCDA. So you cannot start, if you want to start picking who is negligent and who is not, then you will get into problems.
Ekibaddewo olunaku olwaleero nga kyongereza ku kyabaddewo eggulo, kyogera ddala kirungi nti rules ziba zirina okukola. Ndi sipiika bw'asalawo ekintu, sipiika yatukulembera wano mu paalamenti, ye namba 3 mu ggwanga, naye n'ekiragiro kya sipiika ky'abasazeewo kiba kisobola okukyalenjingibwa, okuwakanyizibwa. Ne tumugamba nti sipiika kino ky'osazeewo kikyamu, era kyetubadde tumulaga mu rules. Era kirungi nti kaakati bwe tumulaga rules aba alina ozigoberera, nti bw'osalawo ekintu newankubadde yeesigwe sipiika n'ebirala byonna byonna, naye rules zigamba nti bammemba tusobola okuwakanya ne tuyimuka abantu 40. Era kyetukoze n'olwaleero. Kati yagenda n'agamba nti kaakati mweyisa bubi, nedda tuyita mu rules okuyimirira. Tetukola bukozi fujjo, tetubeera mu muzannyo, tuba tugoberera rules. Rules zigamba nti abantu 40 n'okweyongera waggulu bwe bayimirira basobola okuwakanya sipiika kyasazeewo. Kati tutera okulonda, sipiika n'ateekawo ekibuuzo, those in favor aye, to the contrary nay. Kati zino ne bwe ziba nga mpitirivu, oluusi ye sipiika agamba nti the ayes have it. Kakati tuyise mu rules ne tugamba nti nedda, ffe tuwulidde ng'amaloboozi ga nno ge mangi ennyo, era nga rules zitukkiriza tuyimirire tuddemu okulonda omu ku omu. Kakati abo baanawunsinze balangiridde nti kakati bano babaddewe bati, bano bwe bati, twagala okutunuulira lists ezo tutegeere baani abalonze batya. Kwatuwulire mulimu ne ba ex officio abatakkirizibwa kulonda. Byonna tugenda bigoberera. Naye ng'ekyenkizo ennyo kye tuliko, eno ensonga terina na kuba naya nti kakati aba NRM aba opposition tubadde linga tusayininga nga wewaawo abangi tuli ba opposition, naye n'aba NRM babadde naffe bangi nga bagamba abantu ababasindika wano mu paalamenti bagamba mulwane ku mwanyi yaffe. So tukyalemeddeko nga tugamba bannaye emwanyi lwaki tebagivaako. Bino bwe bagamba nti emyaka 3 emyaka 5 nti obanga agamba nti kale abalimba emmwanyi tubawadde emyaka 3 oba 5 bwe ginaggwa tugitwale ffe nga gavumenti bagitte kyenkana oba bagikwase pineti nga bwe baali baagala okukola. Tugamba gavumenti muwulirize abantu, abantu bagambe mwanyi mugireke. UCDA tetuukiridde nnyo kiri awo naye twagala etereere kubanga already ebadde etambula ng'ekwasaganya obuvunaanyizibwa bwayo nga majority committee report bwe yagambye ng'egamba tewali buzibu naye ate mu kuggwenu nga bagamba nti ate turationalizing kikyoba otegeeza awo we tukyalemedde era nga tusaba bannayuganda eyo gye muli abalima emmwanyi abanywa kaawa abasomedde ku mwanyi nammwe mwimusa amaloboozi gammwe kubanga ffe wano yesu tujja kuba emmeeza mu paalamenti naye tekimala bwe tuba nga tuli ffekka mujjukira mutogikwatako abaka baali wano ne bakola buli kye baasobola okukola naye population bannayuganda tebeegatta ku babaka kakati awo wewaali obuzibu tugamba nti bannayuganda eyo gye muli abaka bamu makubira amasimu mbagaa nti kakati gwe twalabye olondo ogamba nti kakati mwanyi tugikwase gavumenti ekyo kye twakutuma okukola mutwegatteko ku nsonga eno ey'emwanyi